Big transfers are coming, and one of them could shake up European football in a massive way. I'm talking about Ibrahima Konaté, Liverpool's defensive powerhouse, who's now right in the middle of an intense transfer storm involving Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid. Two of the biggest clubs on the planet are circling around him, and the whispers coming from sources like TalkSport, ESPN and TNT Sports are growing louder every single day. But what's really happening behind the scenes? Why is one of Liverpool's most reliable defenders suddenly being tempted by the idea of leaving Anfield? And what could this mean not only for Liverpool's future, but for PSG's ambitions and Real Madrid's grand plan for European domination? Let's dive deep into the story of Ibrahima Konaté. From his roots in Paris, to his rise in the Premier League, and now to the crossroads that could define his entire career. Ibrahima Konaté was born in Paris in 1999, the heart of French football's next generation. Growing up in the 11th arrondissement, football wasn't just a passion, it was survival, culture, and identity. He played on the city's rough concrete pitches, dreaming of one day representing his hometown club, Paris Saint-Germain. But destiny, as always, had a different route for him. After developing through the youth system at Paris FC, Konaté joined Sochaux, where his combination of strength, speed, and intelligence immediately caught the eyes of scouts across Europe. He was tall, composed, and remarkably calm under pressure, traits that made him stand out from a young age. In 2017, at just 18, he made the bold move to RB Leipzig, a club famous for developing young talents into world-class professionals. It was in Germany where Konaté truly evolved. Under the structured and tactical environment of the Bundesliga, he learned discipline, spatial awareness, and leadership. His progression was rapid. Within 2 seasons, he was not just another prospect, he was one of the most exciting young centre-backs in Europe. Then came Liverpool. In 2021, Jurgen Klopp decided it was time to strengthen his backline, after the defensive crisis that nearly derailed their title defence. For Klopp, Konaté wasn't just a signing, he was a statement, a long-term partner for Virgil van Dijk, built for the modern game, and it didn't take long for him to prove why the club spent around £36 million for his signature. Konaté adapted instantly. His first season was a mixture of maturity and raw dominance. In big Champions League nights, he stood tall against Europe's best attackers, showing not only power but composure. For many fans, he quickly became more than a backup. He became the future of Liverpool's defense. But as his stock rose, so did the whispers. PSG had been watching. They saw the Paris-born defender blossoming abroad, and quietly began plotting. For PSG, bringing Konaté back isn't just about football. It's about symbolism, the idea of reclaiming one of their own, and making him the cornerstone of a new defensive era, is exactly the kind of narrative the club loves to create. According to ESPN, PSG's scouts have been following Konaté's progress closely. The club's current project under Luis Enrique is focused on reshaping the team's identity, shifting from a star-driven brand to a more balanced and homegrown structure. And what better way to do that than to bring in a French international, born in Paris, now in his prime? Insiders say PSG have already reached out to Konaté's representatives to explore the possibility of a transfer next summer. The early signs? The player is tempted, not because of money, but because of meaning. He grew up watching PSG. His friends still live in Paris. His family is there. The emotional pull is strong. Meanwhile, back in England, Liverpool are doing everything they can to stop that from happening. TNT Sports recently reported that Liverpool are preparing a new long-term contract for Konaté, one that would not only make him one of the highest-paid defenders at the club, but also a future leader. Klopp sees him as part of the core that will carry Liverpool into their next era. But here's where things get complicated. As PSG and Liverpool began their tug-of-war, a new contender quietly entered the scene: Real Madrid. According to TalkSport, the Spanish giants are closely monitoring Konaté's situation, and it's not hard to see why. Real Madrid are already planning for life after some of their defensive veterans. They've got Militao, Rudiger, and Alaba, but they know reinforcements will soon be needed, and Konaté fits the profile perfectly. He's young, fast, strong, and technically polished, everything a modern Madrid centre-back should be. And there's another layer, the French connection. With Mbappé, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and potentially Konaté, Real Madrid could build a French spine capable of dominating Europe for years. It's the type of long-term vision Florentino Perez loves. Building not just a team, but a legacy. Madrid haven't made an official offer yet, but insiders claim they've already reached out through intermediaries to gauge Liverpool's stance. And the message they received was clear. Liverpool have no intention of selling. At least not yet. But football is unpredictable. Everything depends on what happens next with Konaté's contract. Sources say Liverpool's offer is attractive, but Konaté wants assurances that the club will continue to compete at the highest level, that the rebuild under Klopp will actually lead to titles, and that he won't spend his best years fighting for fourth place. It's not just about money or prestige, it's about ambition. Players like Konaté are now thinking long-term, legacy, trophies and historical relevance. And that's exactly what PSG and Real Madrid are offering, in different forms. PSG are offering emotion, identity, and the chance to lead a new French generation on home soil. Madrid are offering immortality, the opportunity to be part of football's most successful institution. Liverpool, meanwhile, are offering loyalty, trust, and leadership, a place where he's already respected and adored. Klopp has built him up, trusted him, and sees him as a future captain. But is that enough to hold him when Europe's giants are calling? Let's look deeper at the financial side. PSG are reportedly ready to make a move worth between 80 and 90 million euros. That's serious money. The kind of figure that would make even Liverpool's board stop and think. Real Madrid, if they enter the race officially, could push that number even higher. And remember, Konaté's contract runs until 2026. That means the clock is ticking. Liverpool need to act fast if they want to secure his future. Otherwise, the situation could spiral into another saga like we've seen with so many stars before. Inside Anfield, the feeling is mixed. Klopp is determined to keep him, but the board knows that every player has a price. The tension behind closed doors is growing. Losing Konaté would be a blow, not just on the pitch, but symbolically. After years of building stability, another departure could shake the fan base. And speaking of the fans, their reactions have been emotional, to say the least. Liverpool supporters have flooded social media begging Konaté to stay, calling him the future captain and the wall of Anfield. They know his value, and they know replacing him would be nearly impossible. On the other hand, PSG fans are already dreaming. The idea of a backline featuring Konaté, Marquinhos, and Lucas Hernandez is exciting for French supporters. It represents strength, identity, and national pride. A return to roots after years of chasing international stars, who never truly connected with the club's soul. And Real Madrid fans? They're watching silently. Confident, as always, that their club will make the right move at the right time. That's the Real Madrid way. Patient, calculating, and always ready to strike when opportunity arises. So where does that leave Konaté? Caught in the middle of three giants. One that made him, one that raised him, and one that could immortalize him. It's not an easy decision. People close to him describe him as calm and thoughtful. He's not the type to make impulsive choices. He's loyal, grounded, and fully aware of what Liverpool have done for his career. But he's also ambitious, and he knows that his next contract could define his entire legacy. At 26, this is the prime of his career. Whatever he decides next, whether to stay and lead Liverpool's next generation, return home to Paris, or chase glory in Madrid, will shape his story forever. Liverpool want to keep him. PSG want to bring him home. Real Madrid want to make him their next defensive star. 3 clubs, 3 visions, 1 decision that could change everything. The situation is developing rapidly. If Liverpool manage to secure the contract extension before the end of the season, this story might calm down. But if negotiations stall, don't be surprised if PSG make the first official move in the summer transfer window. Until then, the football world watches and waits. Because Konaté's future isn't just about where he plays. It's about what kind of legacy he wants to leave. Will he stay loyal to the club that trusted him when he was still unproven? Will he return home to fulfill his Parisian dream? Or will he take the leap into Real Madrid's next Galactico generation? Every option has its allure, and every decision comes with consequences. What's certain is this: wherever Konaté ends up, he'll take with him the same composure, the same discipline, and the same quiet leadership that made him one of the most respected defenders in Europe. His story is far from over. In fact, it might be about to reach its most dramatic chapter yet. So, as the summer transfer window approaches, buckle up. Because this saga isn't just another rumor. It's a reflection of the new football world, where emotion, money, and legacy are constantly colliding. And one way or another, Ibrahima Konaté will soon have to decide where his heart truly belongs.